Zay, Micah Black. Some people think that when we rap, we ain't praising, we ain't worshiping. Well, you got it wrong, man. I'm looking to heaven for my help, for real. Oh, come on.
You said that there be no more hunger. You said that there be no more pain. Righteousness reigns forever. Tell me what's that gonna be like? We wonder what that's gonna be like. Yeah. You said that there be no more crying, wiping those tears away. No more death and no more lying. Tell me what's that gonna be like? We wonder what that's gonna be like.
Everywhere we look, we see wickedness on the planet. The upper class getting richer, the poor are just abandoned. It will remain that way as long as the selfish is standing. Nations fighting wars and wilding out, no lit cannon. Loving your neighbor is something God is still demanding. Everybody's out for self, it's like you have no real companion. Even so-called Christians can be servants of mammon. Our cabinets are full while the homeless get deserted and famine. Nah, this is not how it's supposed to be. Haves and the have-nots, the greedy are selfish openly. It's an abomination, just what the prophet spoke to me. That's why the wife of the Lamb in Revelation we hope to see, which is a description of heaven on earth. You wanna enter it, you gotta have a second birth. That's what Jesus told Nicodemus when I read the verse. That's why we evangelize and try our best to spread the church. Lord, remember,
you said that there be no more hunger. You said that there be no more pain. Righteousness reigns forever. Tell me what's that gonna be like? We wonder what that's gonna be like. Yeah. You said that there be no more crying, wiping those tears away. No more death and no more lying. Tell me what's that gonna be like? We wonder what that's gonna be.
Revelation 21, John is on the mountainside. He saw the heavenly Jerusalem coming from the sky. A magnificent and glorious wonder to the eye. Streets paved with transparent gold, I wanna get inside. 12 pearl gates around the city, 3 on every side. Inscribed on each one is a name from the 12 tribes. Forever in the presence of God will dwell the wise. No whoremongers, idolaters, or those who telling lies. Some of us won't make it and he gave us all chances. The kings of the nations combine, we holding palm branches. No more questions, cause Christ is giving all answers. No more disease, get rid of viruses and all cancers. Man, in this life I have been a fool. So dirty I left a ring around that baptism pool. But he cleansed you through the blood, now I am a different dude. When I knock I pray he opens, I don't wanna get refused.
You said that there be no more hunger. You said that there be no more pain. Righteousness reigns forever. Tell me what's that gonna be like? We wonder what that's gonna be like. Yeah. You said that there be no more crying, wiping those tears away. No more death and no more lying. Tell me what's that gonna be like? We wonder what that's gonna be like. This is New Jerusalem.
Yeah. Yo, good evening. Shabbat Shalom. Welcome back to the Bible Dojo. What's going on with the good and beautiful people? Hope you all are well. Hope you all are in good spirits. We back. Hold on, let me get over here. Where the comment section at? Okay, there we go. I see it. Come on. Why is that looking so crazy? Okay, there we go. Computer screen was messing up for a minute. Hey, good evening. What's up with y'all, man? We back in the Bible Dojo once again. It's your brothers at Akban Israel, a.k.a. the God Hop MC, hashtag just a vessel, nobody special. They call me Young Hookah for Heretics. Ben Ketor in the building. So y'all know what it is, right? I want y'all to come on up in here because the doors are open tonight. Take your shoes off, check your sock game, make sure you're on point, and start your warm-up katas because it's about to get biblical and extra biblical once again. Coming back with that part 2, finishing off what we started last week. How y'all doing? Got my bro in the background with me. Hold on for a sec. There he is. Bazooka, the disciple. What's good?
Yeah. All is well, man. You
No
know,
doubt, no doubt.
ready for an eventful Shabbat, man. Let's get it.
Hey, man. Well, y'all willing it to be edifying nonetheless. Appreciate you, bro, tapping in here tonight to get a bro a hand. So, hey, let's kind of be honest. Last week, for those of you who heard it, now if it's any of you tapping in and y'all didn't hear last week's teaching, I hope that if you stick around for this one, you would backtrack and go to part 1 of this presentation. Last week, a reality check was put on the brethren because there's a lot of, in my opinion, to be fair, misunderstanding on the captivity and the oppression and affliction of Israel. And what I mean by that is the various ways of the oppressor's boot on the neck of the nation. Historically, according to the curses written in Deuteronomy and things said in Leviticus and some of the things written in the prophets, if we're not careful, while we right now, for those of you who are listening and right now, if you claim to be Israel, if you can hear me and you know that, hey, you believe you're in captivity right now, I want you to think a minute about how you live in captivity. Now, aside from the things that you believe are difficult, like whatever about the systemic evil that you might think is difficult for you, how do you live? How do you travel? Do you go where you want to go? Do you pretty much do what you want to do, even as you claim to be a person who is of the captivity? If the answer is yes, then why don't you consider that your forefathers and foremothers lived similarly many times like that in their captivities? The captivity isn't always about the most extreme example, but even the least example of captivity means your sovereignty is taken from you. It means your ability to function as an independent and autonomous nation of people, especially for the children of Israel, if they would have, unfortunately they didn't as a whole, but if they would have desired to be obedient to Yah and would have been able to keep their agreement with him, then the captivity and the implications of it would be non-existent. But the reason for the captivity is because of the things that you see as what? The disobedience of the Israelite nation. And I am arguing that the children of Israel, which really as a nation represent humanity as one in the sense of Adam, this is what all the rest of the sons of Adam that are nations have to look forward to. In Jeremiah chapter 25, Yah says, I have began to punish the people and the place that are called by my name. Do the rest of the nations believe they will go unpunished? No, you shall surely be punished. So this is why when you get into the New Testament writings, I believe, the apostles follow with the narrative of to the Jew first and then to the Gentile. When they talk about tribulation and anguish and trouble for disobedience, to the Jew first and then to the Gentile. But then when it comes to blessing, exaltation for obedience, to the Jew first and then to the Gentile. So the energy has to be the same. But that's only if you're necessarily a studier of the entire Bible and not just getting your doctrine from Matthew to Revelation when the apostles never read Matthew to Revelation. The apostles taught from Genesis to Malachi, and we look at what they wrote as letters, the letters that they wrote as they were admonishing the gathering of brethren in the diaspora along with the Gentile believers. They were warning them, they were rebuking them, they were encouraging them, but their letters were never meant by them to be the exhaustive rendition of understanding. Oh, I was in a room on Clubhouse back in like July or June, and it was more or less a reform room, but I like listening to the Protestant brothers because sometimes they got some stuff that I can dig, right? But one gentleman said, if you want to understand God's plan of salvation and what he's going to do for man, that man said, yo, all you need is the book of Romans and the Gospels. He said, honestly, no matter what other letter of the apostle you read, Romans pretty much sums up anything he could have said in any other letter. Brethren, y'all know that's straight from the depths of hell, because Yah has preserved the pen of the scribes, right? So when the scripture says holy men of old spake as they were moved by the Ruach HaKodesh, then we better go to those holy men of old and read what the Ruach HaKodesh gave them. And then when we get to the holy men of the newer age, which I call the apostles, we read what they gave as instruction by the Ruach HaKodesh so that we can see that as well. So this is what the Bible Dojo is about. As we get ready to get into this, I want to say what's up to my folk. Y'all know what my tradition is over here. So let me see who's joining us this evening through YouTube and Facebook. Salute to my bro Hashem in the building. What's good with you, King? Saint Majesty Music, what's going on, sis? Davion, salute, bro. Jason Cam 4. Blessings to you. El Cam Barlow, salute. Mariah, hello, hello. My Octal Mead. Oh, he said the singer on this track sound like Zay. You know what's crazy? Because I did write the hook, but that's my man Micah Black. And I actually picked him because he's a better singer than me. I can hold a note, but no, he did way better than I would have done on that hook. But hey,
that's hilarious. I thought the same thing. I was like, Zay going in.
Oh, y'all thought that was me? Yo, you know, a few people thought that was me, to be fair. I've been getting that ever since I put that song is like 6 years old. That song is from 2016, right before I joined Hog Mob. So yeah, but yeah, that's my man Micah Black. Some cats talking about I made him up. Ain't no Micah Black. Yo, that is hilarious. I could get Micah Black to come on live and sing it just so y'all can know it is him. But
you know, that's your alter ego, man.
That's what's up. Yeti Brew, Baby Sword in the building. What's good with it, Dre? Willie Kent Chong Jr. What's good with it, Brody? SOY, salute and blessings to you. I appreciate the love. Sister V Love, hello, hello, welcome. She Brew Light in the building. What's going on with you too? Blessed for defeat. Hello there, Queen. Welcome. Regina, good evening to you. Good evening. Marcus Jones, what's good? What's good? Blessings said, had the whole family bump into that. Yeah, I'm gonna have to put that back out there for a spin because people are digging that track. I appreciate the love. The Blueprint Bible Study, my Aunt Jermaine, what's good with it? Sister Ez, hello, hello, Queen. T Dizzle is with us. What's good with you, Brody? Salute. Who else we got? Che Burgess. What's going on? What's going on? Ak Haven in the building. That's the Ak who was with me last week and volunteered this time. Salute, bro. Shabbat shalom to you. Jason Cam 4, welcome, King. My bro Ashton in the building. Yo. My life totally. Hello, hello. And who else do we got? Richard Megan. What's up? What's up with you? Q Ashley tapping in from Facebook. Hello. Shannon Harp. What's good with you, Queen? Hey. And tapping in. Let me see. Over on the Clubhouse. Bless y'all. Who we got? We got Jackie. Good evening. Sharp. Mikhael. Religious. Shaul. Hey, blessings to y'all. Share it out if y'all can. Hopefully some more people come up in here. I know people don't sit as long in rooms where there's not conversation and it's just they kind of got to like listen to a teaching presentation, but some people might stick around. So share it out for me if y'all can. Most High bless y'all. Thank y'all for being here. Yah saves. What's good with my man D? Thank you right there in the super chat. So while you did that, that gives me the beautiful segue. If you are willing to support the ministry tonight on YouTube and Facebook, I ask you become subscribers, followers, share it out. If you'd like to support the ministry financially, Look at the ticker on the screen. The information is there. If you want to contact me personally for building purposes, my email address is available. And to the brethren who are on Clubhouse listening, if you are interested in any of that, just touch my PTR, check out my bio, and the pertinent info is there. So, brethren, it's about time to go ahead and get into this. Let's talk this evening. Yeah. So, what I want to do is, where do I want to start? Last week we left off and I did an extensive and exhaustive presentation on the Egyptian captivity, the reality of how wealthy the Hebrew Israelites had gotten in Egypt because they cornered the cattle trade, because Joseph made sure that Pharaoh knew it. It also guaranteed that they would have what? That they would have been able to stay separate in Goshen, because the Egyptians looked at shepherd people as an abomination. That's why even though Joseph was in captivity, if you will, because remember, he was sold as a slave. Y'all don't forget, if we're not careful, we'll forget that Joseph was in captivity. Joseph was sold into slavery and was sold to a man in Egypt. Now, because of the favor he had, you know what? People forget that he was in captivity. And there's many people who will even tell us, well, you talking about you Israel and you in captivity, but you free. Well, let's see Joseph's freedom. Joseph was sold to Potiphar, who was an Egyptian, a man of stature, a wealthy man. But Joseph was blessed because of his disposition to be put in charge of all this man's thing as his of all this man's things as his steward. But yet he was sold to that man. Then when he was falsely accused of rape, he was thrown into prison unjustly. In the prison, he found favor with the leader of the guards. Is he out of captivity yet? No. But what happens is we read Yah's favor on him. And what the Yah's favor does is it lessens the symptoms that the captivity can have on your spirit. That's what it does. It allows you to keep your sanity in the captivity. He was in hard captivity for 13 years before he even got the position with Pharaoh. Because by the time his brethren came back, it had been 20 years. Joseph was 34. His brothers sold him into bondage when he was 17. And Joseph got his position when he was roughly about 27, 28 years old with Pharaoh. Then when Pharaoh had his dreams and all of that happened, remember Joseph interpret dreams where? In prison, in the dungeon with Pharaoh's servants who were on Pharaoh's bad side, and he done tossed these Negroes into jail. Now, sometime later, what happens is Pharaoh has his dreams. I believe it's the baker. He remembered Joseph in jail, who told him about their dreams. Then he said, Pharaoh, it's a homie in jail who actually is he can tell dreams. Hey, wait, hold on. I see someone said there's no, hold on, what's going on here? Check. Oh, goodness. Hold on. There is no. Oh, right, bro. Right. Hold on for a second, brethren. I got to start the clubhouse over. Hold on, everyone. Hey, y'all give me a second because I can see that I'm not being heard on Clubhouse. That's trash. Hold on. No sound, right? No sound. Okay, hold on. I'm going to have to end this room. Ah, that's trash. Okay, let me do this because maybe. Goodness. Okay. Let me restart this. Hold on, brethren. I got to do this all over again for the clubhouse, brethren. So please be patient with me. Here we go. Hold on. Thank you for your patience, brethren. I'm glad that my bro Haven let me know that because there's some people sitting there and they waiting for the mic to come open. I appreciate them for that. They didn't even hear all of that glorious opening I did. Hold on. Where we at here? Okay, boom. There and yo. Oh, hold on, brethren. I know what it is. Hold on. I know what it is. And okay. There we go. Salute, salute. Oh, all right, brethren. Hey, everyone. Please forgive me for me not realizing there was no audio. I'm in my studio with my phone, and y'all know what I think happened? I think my Bluetooth buds, which are way in the other part of the house, are on and they locked into my phone. Ain't that so trash? But hey, it's all good now. So if you guys can hear me, you guys and girls, thank you so much. I apologize to the Clubhouse fam. Hey, y'all go ahead and share this out because I'm pretty sure it's people who came in here and the whole time I'm running my mouth, I didn't even know you all couldn't hear me. But salute to Haven, Nate, Kenny, Young Jedi, Mikhael. Hopefully some of the brethren will pop back up in here soon. All right. Boom. Good. All right, brethren. So now that we got that out the way, what, right, Devion? Oh my goodness. You ever be like on your earbuds or something? I remember one time my wife got in the car to leave and I'm on the phone and I can't even hear the person. The Bluetooth in the car done took over my phone and I don't know what's happening. Until my wife got off the block, I couldn't get control of my phone back. You know what I mean? Shebrew Light said, I heard you the whole time, Ak. Yeah. I don't know if you were on Clubhouse, sis, but they couldn't hear me on the Clubhouse app because I'm streaming now also through Clubhouse when I do this. But at any rate, hey, brothers who are on, y'all go ahead and share it out, and hopefully we'll get some folk in here. All right, so we back. So Joseph was in captivity. Joseph was sold by his brothers to Ishmaelites, who sold him into a servitude to Potiphar. He had favor there, but he was falsely accused of rape, and he was sold, or not sold. He was thrown in prison and was there for some years. Then he got let out, right? And then when he helped Pharaoh understand what his dreams meant, Pharaoh put him in charge. But it was interesting because when Yosef, when he had the episode with his brothers, and they all broke bread together, he sat his brothers down at their own tables so that they could eat. And then he had his table, and the Egyptian officials had their own. The scripture, Bazooka, you remember why the scripture said Joseph ate by himself and had his brothers eat by themselves apart from the Egyptians?
I believe because they were sheep herders and they were an abomination to the Egyptians.
Hebrews were an abomination to the Egyptians. So what people don't realize is Joseph had a life of personal wealth. He had a position of importance in a foreign land, but he still suffered racism. Just as there are many people of our African-American so-called community who find themselves, there are people of other minority ethnic groups, Latinos and others, who find themselves in a situation and they need to work extra hard to get in a position that they want. But what happens? They still suffer from racism. They still find themselves suffering. So don't let your personal wealth, your ability to even probably leave $1 million to your kids if you die, stuff like that. Don't let those things cause you to think you're not in the captivity. Who need to change? Yo, that's probably my, is that, wait, hold on. Somebody said something about a smoke detector. Is that one of my smoke detectors? Yep, that gotta be mine. Hold on, because if ain't nobody else off mic, y'all hold on for a minute. Let me check that smoke detector because y'all hearing the beep. Now, once I seen it, I'm like, oh damn, I hear it too. Yo, hold on for a second. All right. Okay, I'm back. I think I got that fixed. Hey, I'm glad that one of y'all ears was like that. You know what I mean? She said I'm a security guard now. All jokes go through me. Hey, it's all good. That wasn't, come on, y'all. Y'all do know that when it come to talking that talk, my homies will tell you I will slay giants when it come to that. So, you know what I mean? Come on. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm built for the smoke. I don't need no damn smoke detector, Dre. I'm built for the smoke. A smoke detector is telling you to run away from the smoke, nigga. I'm here for it. Yo, a baby sword. You hilarious. But hey, Davion, I'm glad that you said something because I didn't even pay attention. See, y'all, I got kicked out of my studio. I had a small room that was my personal space in the house. And all of a sudden, we had a family member in need. So I humbled myself and I broke down that whole room and that stairs now. So now I'm basically in the basement of my house over in a corner with all my stuff set up. And that's why I even got this funky looking green screen background thing going on, because I got to set all of this up to look like something. I can't have y'all looking behind me and seeing just like open basement. You know what I mean? So, hey, all right. So let me go ahead and get into this part. So now, brethren, what we got going on is this. Yosef is in captivity. Now we showed you how the children of Israel, by Yah's grace, he used the oppression and he used the situation they were in to still give them what they needed to survive. And for all of us, it's the exact same way. Yes, we're in captivity, but what do we need here? Here in this country, they have taken away the control of resources from the majority of citizens, no matter their ethnic group. So now here, the fiat currency of money is what we need. The Most High gonna make sure we can get our money. But what it also has done is it has put us in the same situation that it did put some of the brethren in Israel in. We showed you how the Israelites, the Hebrews of old, claimed that the Israelites gave themselves over fully to Egyptian culture as a whole. It's not meant to say there weren't none who weren't feeling it, but as a whole, as a people, they were Egyptian as much as we are American, as much as some of you are European watching, meaning you look and sound predominantly like the culture of that particular land that you're in, you know. And one thing is that what we have lost that might be a little different is some sense of community togetherness, but that's even new. That's a creation of the last half century with the civil rights legislation that kind of really left blacks to make decisions. And unfortunately, we showed our true colors. We were exposed by the civil rights legislation. They didn't make us go out here and go move into other communities and this, that, and the third. No, we chose that. Like, oh, we could do this. Now we chose to get away from each other and falsely will make the crime that is a narrative in some of our communities, the family dysfunction and things like that we'll blame all of that on white folk, when really it's just a matter of our own individualism and our own selfishness that cause us to sleep with women as men and abandon them and be out here. Well, I don't care if you're working a legal job or you're working illegal. If you can produce multiple children with women and not take care of them, don't bring up damn Joe Biden or Donald Trump name to me like somehow it's their fault. It's their fault that you lusted and seduced that girl and she fell for it and y'all lusted and a baby pop up, and within a year or two of the child being alive, you done moved on from the woman. Nah, that ain't Joe Biden fault, homie. All right. So what I'm telling you all is that the captivity is going to do one or two things to us as a people. It's going to cause us to regret the condition we're in, and we're going to repent to the Most High and come together. Or as he said in Leviticus 26, it's going to consume you, and you're just going to slowly rot away in your sin in the land of your enemies. It's only one or two results there. And we today are just like, as a whole, what the children of Israel were like in Egypt, to the point that I brought out the text where the Most High said he would have really whooped on the children of Israel while they were still in Egypt because of the evil that they wouldn't stop doing. But he had mercy because he didn't want it to look a certain way in the sight of the heathen who he was judging at that time. He says, so I judged the heathen, and then I brought them out of Egypt into the wilderness and gave them my statutes and told them to be righteous. Today, I want to look at the Babylonian captivity a little bit. I want to look at the Babylon, the young Babylon. So hold on for a second, brethren. Let me bring up something right quick here. Let me get my notes on the screen. Okay. Hold on. Hold on for a second, brethren. I want to make sure. Here we go. Okay. Okay, so this is where I want to go. Hey, Ak, you ready? Let's go ahead and start this. I know I'm a little disheveled. That clubhouse not having sound really had threw me off. It kind of threw my flow off a bit. But I feel like I'm back in the young bag now. So let's go to Jeremiah chapter 29. Hey, salute. I see a few more of you have joined. Shaul Israel over there. You done popped into the YouTube. What's going on with you? Who else we got there? Sister Felicia, welcome. Most High bless you. Who else we got? Okay, I think those just might be the newest to join. All right. So, hey, Ak, let's go ahead and get into this. We're going to go here into Jeremiah chapter 29. Jeremiah, young 29.
Let's get it.
All right. And when we get there, bro, let's start reading at verse 1.
Okay. It says, now these are the words of the letter that Jeremiah the prophet sent from Jerusalem unto the residue of the elders, which were carried away captives, and to the priests, and to the prophets, and to all the people whom Nebuchadnezzar had carried away captive from Jerusalem to Babylon. After that, Jeconiah the king and the queen and the eunuchs, the princes of Judah and Jerusalem, and the carpenters and the smiths were departed from Jerusalem by the hand of Elasah, the son of Shaphan, and Jeremiah, the son of Hilkiah, whom Zedekiah, king of Judah, sent unto Babylon to Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, saying, thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, unto all that are carried away captives, whom I have caused to be carried away from Jerusalem unto Babylon. Build ye houses and dwell in them, and plant gardens and eat the fruit of them. Take ye wives and beget sons and daughters, and take wives for your sons, and give your daughters to husbands, that they may bear sons and daughters, that ye may be increased there, and not diminished. And seek the peace of the city, whether I have caused you to be carried away captives, and pray unto the Lord for it, for in the peace thereof shall ye have peace.
Okay, brethren, they're told, hey, you're going to be here for a minute. So don't get here and try to cause an uproar. Don't get here and we're going to lift up arms against the oppressor. No, I'm punishing you. I need you to actually take your punishment the way I tell you. Hey, brethren, whenever you give your children terms of punishment, or your parents gave you terms of punishment, you're not supposed to keep the punishment the way you want. You're supposed to do it within the bounds of what they say you can and can't do, should and shouldn't do. Hey, I didn't see that there. I missed that. Hey, thanks, Brother Dre. I appreciate you. Hey, thanks, sis. Thank you over there for the super sticker. I had missed that and my eye just caught it. Appreciate y'all. So when it comes to the Babylonian captivity, and you read Jeremiah 29 here, the Most High told them, hey, take care of yourselves. Basically, go ahead and work the situation to your benefit. Build homes, brethren. This could be from rental to home ownership. This could be from planting gardens that you own sovereignly within the captivity according to what they give you. Just like, remember, the children of Israel didn't come in and fight war and take Goshen. It was given to them. So when you look at the Babylonian captivity, we see that they're going to get, look, brethren, when strangers came into Israel's land, strangers did not have land inheritance, which is why many strangers sold themselves to Hebrews so that they could live much freer to the resource of what was in the land. Strangers were not to be oppressed, but some people kind of got a problem that when they go into the scripture and they read the word that the heathen, which just, all of these words have been used that now in some people's tongue, it's damn near a cuss word. Heathen just mean y'all not Israel. Everybody else, the nations, the foreigners, they would come in and they would become servants to the nation of Israel. It's not their country. They're not the sovereign. You come into another nation's territory, you humble yourself and you serve admirably. Paul even warned the brethren of the captivity in his day of the diaspora. He said, submit yourselves to every ordinance of man for the Most High's sake. Not anything that was telling you to do evil to a man. But he's saying wherever you find yourself at, don't offend their laws. Live right. He actually said, give honor to the kings and to the rulers and the governors where the Most High send you. I know we want to act sovereign, but you're not. Even if more of us come together, that is not us being sovereign as a nation. It is us coming together to help each other as family. The children of Israel were not sovereign in Kemet. They weren't sovereign in Babylon, and we're not sovereign anywhere we are. We will not be sovereign until we get back to what the Most High said belongs to us. But he told the prophet Jeremiah, hey, you tell them in the captivity, man, get you property. Control your food source. Make sure that your children are able to get into relationships and have marriages and produce more, y'all, so y'all be all right and increase in this place so you don't diminish. And he said, and pray for the peace of the city I send you to. For some people, it'd be an abomination to their lip to even think that they're asking for any good for Babylon. The Most High wasn't telling you to champion and celebrate everything they do. He just said, pray that these people can have peace because their peace will be your peace. Y'all know what that also means? Their fear will be your fear. Their lack of peace will, you don't get to just have utter peace and the nation is in disarray. The Most High set the standard, not us. The only semblance of peace we can have is if we could come together, and if we living among each other are willing to be obedient to the commandments of Yah, then among ourselves as family, we create a small bubble of peace for ourselves. That's about as far as it's going to get until Yah decide otherwise. But this is what he did for the mothers and fathers, literally going into Babylon. You all see that. What did he say? Build houses. Dwell in them houses. Y'all go ahead and have children. Pray for the peace of this place where I send you. Because while you're there, the situation of the society will also, to some degree, dictate where you are. Brethren, that right there is something that is so interesting to me. Because what it means is that the Most High wants you to understand, you're no longer sovereign. I'm not just giving you fully the peace you want. I'll give you some measure of peace if you be obedient to me. But their peace will be your peace. It's like if we all lived in Ukraine, y'all, and the damn Russians came, started to do what they doing, and many of us live in Kharkiv somewhere. Y'all mean to tell me that just because we serve the Most High, damn it, we about to run too? We was going to be trying to run into Poland or wherever we could in the beginning, like many of those ethnic Ukrainians and others were getting the hell out of Dodge, right? And if we couldn't make it out of the borders of their land, wouldn't we be in prayer that the Most High protect us and allow us to survive, as now these people are fighting against each other? Do you see their peace will be your peace? And if they got war and trouble, it's going to touch you to some degree as well. But guess what that is? That is part of the punishment of the captivity. You don't just get to dictate that everything gonna be the way you would like. Because when we had the opportunity to dictate an entire country full of peace and justice, unfortunately, our people, they spit in Yah's eye. So he's not going to give us as an entire nation something we might feel and hope for, but his remnant, wherever they are, he'll do for us what he did for Daniel. He'll do for us what he did for Uncle Mordecai. He'll do for us what he did for Yosef. We can Goshen it up. And guess what? I want to show you all today some way that the Hebrews rocked. Hey, I'm going to put a source on the screen from kabod.org. Let's show you all something right quick. Kabod.org. Let me stop the screen share and reshare. Hey, salute and welcome to the Bible Dojo. Good evening. If you just joining us, it's your brother Zadok in Israel. Got my brother Bazooka with me tonight, and we getting it in. If you just joining us, y'all come on up in here. Take notes if you do. Whatever platform you're on, I ask you to share it out because hopefully it attracts some more people. So let me see here. All right, share the screen. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and enlarge this. Hey, Bazooka, can you see this decently? This is from an article at kabod.org titled Under Babylonian and Persian Rule.
This exile, although very traumatic, nevertheless had a great benefit to the Jewish people. There were no more corrupt kings or nobility. In Babylon, the Torah scholars had complete authority. Moreover, the Babylonians were not anti-Semites per se. While they only wanted to destroy Judah as an independent political power, they harbored no ill feelings toward the Jewish religion. As such, Jews were given their own cities, where earlier exiled Jews welcomed them warmly. The Talmud tells us that God chose Babylon as a place of exile for several reasons. Aramaic, the language of Babylon, was very similar to Hebrew. Abraham was born in Babylon, so the Jews were not regarded as foreigners, and it was easy to make a living from the abundant date trees. All told, then life was pleasant for the Jews once they reached Babylon.
Now, some people got a problem with that because we over romanticize and over nightmare captivity. The nightmare of captivity is that, damn it, you don't just get to govern yourself 100% the way you want anymore because you're in another people's land and they got their own culture, their own set of things, and they're gonna kind of dictate where y'all can. Hey, we give y'all this. Yeah, this over here, yeah, that's for y'all. That over there, that's for y'all. So there's things that come with the captivity. Now, from the research I've done, and I got other sources I'm gonna share, this is totally true. But all Israelites didn't act the same because didn't react the same because some Hebrews just was like, yo, I don't want to get comfortable with feeling like we good here. And that's fair. But some people was like, yo, I'm not gonna sit here and be in despair. I got a family to take care of. I got to get out here and find out how to get a bag. All the reactions among the people will be different from person to person. But the reality is that the Babylonian captivity, it was captivity. But as a whole, the Israelite people didn't just live totally in squalor. They didn't live. It wasn't even like the Egyptian taskmaster situation. Some things just have to be understood. And I'm telling you right now, for any one of you who would call yourself Israel and say the people are in captivity, well, describe your captivity now. Because there for us, and for I can only speak for those of us in the Americas, we have had some severe moments of grand injustice and hard bondage, and then some moments of ease compared to other facets. Most of you watching right now, you know, you can read stuff that happened to some of our mothers and fathers in this place, and your blood can boil a little bit. But you sitting as a free man that can travel anywhere you want, jump on any airplane you want, go to a car rental shop, hop in the whip. You want to go on a cruise around the world? I know Negroes who done left here and then moved to Africa freely. They like, man, I ain't even coming back to America. All of that. So but you wouldn't deny being a captive, because captive don't just mean one thing. What it ultimately means is your sovereignty and your place in the earth as a sovereign, independent, autonomous nation is one has been taken from you. Ultimately, that's what it means. And depending on where you find our people, depending on who their masters are, they'll be in different conditions. Some people have more generous and kind masters, and some people got more harsh and abrasive as hell masters. That's just what it is. Just like some women got abrasive husbands and some women got men who more laid back. That's just what it is. Every husband ain't the kind of husband, aren't the same kind of husband, you know? Every wife isn't the same kind of wife, yet they're all wives if they're in a marriage covenant. They're all husbands if they're in a marriage covenant. Captivity ain't equal for everybody, and that's just the truth of it from everything I've ever found. But nonetheless, it's captivity. I just want to point out some things that some people might gloss over because they just want to make captivity about somebody beating you in your head. And that's not necessarily the case in every instance. But let's actually go here. It says the Jews in Babylon. Continue, bro.
Despite the relative ease of their exile, the Jews reacted in vastly different ways. Some of them, traumatized by the shock of heathens conquering Jerusalem in accordance they had previously deemed impossible, despaired of a future redemption, saying that God had severed his relationship with the Jewish people. Others settled down comfortably and planned to assimilate.
Hold on. So some could never get out of their mind that we lost our nation and that our capital was destroyed by these people. So they're constantly thinking something different. I believe that the Pharisees themselves come out of this like, no, we don't want to get comfortable here. And that's their right to feel like that. But others did different. Others settled down comfortably. Comfortable. Continue, I.
Accordingly, the prophet Ezekiel addressed both of these concerns. To the first group, he shared his prophetic visions of the heavenly chariot and the third eternal temple, telling them that God did not forsake them. He also revived the dry bones in the valley of Dura, symbolizing the rejuvenation of the Jewish people. To the second group, he burst out with fiery denunciations, saying that God will never allow the Jewish people to assimilate. Nevertheless, many Jews did assimilate. Some Jews even rose to prominence at Nebuchadnezzar's court. Daniel was appointed governor over the realm, while Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah also attained high positions in the government.
Now, when you read these things, what you have to understand is it doesn't mean this doesn't describe every single individual situation. I'm just showing that overall, you had some cats who became very comfortable in Babylon. The Israelites were even given cities and territories that belonged to them because some Hebrews had been there for over a decade or more before the final wave of the captivity that came after the Babylonians burnt Jerusalem. See, the first wave of Hebrews went into captivity in 597. That's when Ezekiel was prophesying his work. And then 10 years later in 586, and then 4 years after that in 582 BC, you had some more waves of the captivity coming to the Babylonian capital city and other cities around the Chaldean territory. So what I'm saying to you all is that as the Israelites are spread into captivity, the reality is you get used to the place you're living in. And for some people, they'll never really like it truly. And to some people, they like, yo, it's not all bad. Like, we got to buckle down and we got to get used to this. We got to accept that this is the punishment and that we're not dead. So we better do with the prophet Jeremiah, that letter he sent to us. Yo, man, let us go ahead and secure some assets. Let's take care of each other. But their captivity had an aspect that I think is missing hard in our form of captivity. We don't have that togetherness anymore. I'm not saying that their togetherness made them righteous. No. But still, their togetherness still had its advantages, brethren. And all you hear our people talk about is we in captivity, but we don't do like the other people. They kind of band together more and stuff. All right, I hear that all the time. Well, I'm just sitting back to see who's going to start banding together. We know it. We're going to keep saying it. Or are people going to really start trying to come together and band together? So, look, these captivities we read in the scripture have aspects that are very similar to how we live. I know individuals who live greatly, and they could give less than a damn about what I'm talking about right now. I'm talking about, I believe they come from the same stock of people I come from. Y'all, they are living their lives. They look in the rest of the earth. See, their reality is I'm looking on the earth. I don't see nowhere else that I'm want to go live. I'm creating generational wealth. I'm good. Ain't no white people in my face calling me nigger every day and this. I'm not held back. Like, yo, I own businesses. I got this. I got that. I'm teaching my children this. And that's just something that's going to have to be a reality to you, because everybody don't feel how I might feel. Everyone isn't displeased with America. That's just the facts. Every Israelite was not displeased with Egypt, and every Israelite was not displeased with Babylon. That's another thing about the captivity. You'll get used to the culture, and if you feel you're becoming successful in that culture, then that's your culture. I'm telling you, I know this for a fact because I got some cats. On one hand, they respect my biblical acumen, but they like, yo, Zay, you got a victim mentality. I got brothers who have told me they don't think so many people should listen to me because I got a victim mentality. My mentality don't tell black people to live in a reality and get out here and get busy and assimilate and accept where we are. The blood, sweat, and tears of our mothers and fathers who built this country, and we got an opportunity. they don't respect the fact that I don't give a damn about American politics and will never vote in this country's politics. I could care less. But for them, it's on. And I just got to accept that. And that's what I'm telling y'all. Captivity ain't just what I'm saying, because my reality is I come from a certain thought pattern and worldview. Their opinions are their right because it's their lens, it's their eyes, it's their experience. I got cats, man, who done grew up in some foul stuff in certain communities, done grown up in the projects, seen a lot of dysfunction, and them cats had a mind like, I hate this, and as soon as I can get out of here, I'm gonna get out of here. And they went somewhere else, and they found a whole nother reality. And they like, yo, they feel our people like that because they choose to be. I chose not to be like that, and so it ain't this country's fault, because then you could say it's the country's fault that I feel I became successful. Do you give them credit for my success, or just when I feel like I'm in a crab in a barrel scenario? Hey, I hear you. I don't fully agree with you, but I hear you. So that's why I'm going the route I'm going, because I need us to understand that the captivity is not going to be the same to everyone. It's just not. And yeah. So when you go out here and you preach and you teach, you're looking for that remnant that see what you see so that you can connect with them. You're not going to connect with this people as a collective. It just won't. And Zadok is not worried about trying to get all people of my same ethnic group to do what's right. That's not my concern. I'm just going to preach to as many of them as possible. And whoever the Lord seemed to choose that feel like they connect with me, then I'll connect with them. Other than that, I don't got no time to be like, oh my God, what are they all doing? I just don't live like that, because what happens is I start to get frustrated. And I'm gonna let y'all know, if I think about it too much, it could breed a grudge in me toward my people. I want to love my people. So guess what? I have stopped trying to make my people agree with me. And I just tell the people, my people, the truth as I see it, as I feel it's in me. And what the Most High does, he constantly bring me brothers and sisters from my people, along with other people from others. See, and I'm not 100% concerned about my people, not just alone, because I preach the gospel, and this is for all nations. And so when I got brothers from other ethnic groups that could be considered, I put it like this. I got brothers from Ham and Japheth who I love as much, and honestly, who have done more for me than even some of my quote unquote own kinsmen according to the flesh, who I start to build with. Oh no, I had relationships with certain people before I even met you, and these cats done gave me the shirt off they back. These cats done made sure my family good. These my brothers, man, and they love the Most High. I'm showing up in confidence with this brother of German. This nigga so German, he might look like Heinrich Himmler or somebody to y'all from one of the old photos. But this a man of God. When I went out here and hit these streets and I'm out here preaching, it was a whole bunch of brothers in Christ who are Caucasian who went and hit them blocks with me and was in my community praying for my people and loving on my people. So don't get it twisted. I'm saying my people according to the sense of the flesh, because that's who I love. I care about my people too much. That's what I've grown up around. I want to see more of my people become obedient to the gospel and serve the Most High. But that's not all I'm concerned about either. I'm not going to be so overly invested in hoping they would do right when I got brethren here who are just the descendants of Adam, period, damn it. And I don't give a damn what their ethnic background is. These people love the Most High, and they willing to live by his law, statutes, and commandments, and they believe in Christ. Well, we gonna work. And when these cats, if any of them, if I could reach out to more of them, and guess what? While I'm doing that, my Caucasian brother here care about his community. Because one thing I came to find out about some of my Caucasian brothers who I love to life in Hamashiach, y'all know some of them done grown up in more poverty than I ever have. Oh, I got some white homies, when their testimony, I'm like, damn. And when we go into their communities and they come from poor white communities and they like, yo, Zay, we want to go into our community, man. Hey, yo, man. Yo, I want to bring the gospel to my people. I'm with them in the name of a Mashiach just as much as they willing to come with me into my community. That's just what it is. So I'm just letting y'all know, even though I'm teaching this, don't get it twisted. I'm going to always be 100% clear on where I stand because I stand on my square. That's just what it is. I got brothers of other ethnicities who will fly and come across the country to me. Do you understand that? They come to me from the other side of the country. I'm with you, bro. I'm here. What you got to say when your own man ain't got time because he might be busy? But you got a brother and he'll fly from the other side of America to come and assist you. That's my brother. And that's just it, man. Yeshua said, those who do the will of my Father, the same as my mother and my brother and my sister. Don't forget that, saints. As much as we want our people, and I'm telling that, if you were saying you Caucasian or you of straight African descent or Shemitic descent, don't forget, those who do the will of our Father in heaven is at the end of the day your ultimate family, because now I'm concerned about who he accepts. And I'm no respecter of persons. In every nation, out of every kindred and tongue on this planet, whoever does righteousness is accepted with him. And that's my standard. They accept it with me. There is no favoritism. Not with me, it can't be. Now, getting back to my people, though. My Israelite people. Look at the captivity. Some of our people are going to get high up in these places of the captivity, just like Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And some of the average people will be able to find careers and they get ownership of assets and start to feel good. And there's others who'll do the same thing, but they desire to not be subservient as a people to a foreign government. And their hope and desire is for our people to be able to fully 100%, not a percent less, govern ourselves as a people. I'm with that group of people, but I still got to survive in this what? Captivity. So let's go to another source now. Let's go to another young source. I'm gonna go to Josephus. No, am I gonna go to Josephus first? Hold on. Let me go back to my. Nope, I'm not gonna bring up Josephus yet. I'm gonna go to biblicalarchaeology.org. Let me go there and bring up this. Yeah, let me go there right quick. Hold on, everyone. Okay, let me share the screen. I got another source we're gonna read from Bazooka. Hey, bro, good. Anything you feel like you want to say as we get as I'm rambling here?
No, this is definitely good, man. It just shows that you know, some of the things that we feel like we dealing with now in this captivity is not foreign to, you know, our nation, man. So it's definitely bringing out a lot.
Oh no, no doubt. Now this is from Biblical Archaeology Society .org or biblicalarchaeology.org. And when I like going to these sites because I like going here, seeing how they digging through the land, what they find, and all of this kind of stuff. You know what? Some people can't accept some of the stuff I'm saying tonight because they feel, well, most of this is coming from Gentiles. Well, damn it, go get your black sources there. I mean, if you got other sources that are better than what I'm using, send them to me. I mean, goodness. But other than that, so hey, Ak, if you can see this here on the screen, I'm gonna make it slightly bigger. Yes. Okay, so yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at this.
The Babylonian exile that resulted from King Nebuchadnezzar's 6th century BCE capture of Jerusalem has traditionally been portrayed with the Judahites lamenting their circumstances, but the textual remains left by the Babylonians, and even some Judahites may reveal an entirely different story. The Babylonian exile began in 597 BCE with the deportation of Judahite king uh, Jehoiakim, his family, skilled craftsmen, warriors, and 10,000 additional captives. Two more deportations took place. One in 586 BCE, when Jerusalem and the temple were destroyed, and another in 582 BCE. Jeremiah 52:28 and 30 claims that a total of 4,600 Judahites were displaced in the Babylonian exile. Psalms 137, 1 and 2 poetically recounts the feelings of the deported Judahites by the rivers of Babylon, where we sat and wept as we thought of Zion. There on the poplars we hung up our lyres. Hey, I don't know if your sound is off. I think you're still on mute.
Thanks. Yep, I was muted. Man, it was like, man, we ain't trying to sing these songs in captivity. How can we sing the songs of Zion in a strange land, man? We hung up our music instruments right there by the riverbank. But brethren, that's understandable because they were defeated. The captivity is forced. So especially in that first generation, you had a lot of people who just like, I ain't never trying to get comfortable here. But remember, the Most High told them to breed children. So your reality becomes your children's stories, but the reality of who your children grow up with, and the reality of the semblance of peace that they have, and the reality of how they're able to do business and their memories of where they met their wife at, and however they feel, they could look at this place different. See, they've never known where you come from. They've heard about where you came from. But by the time 70 years pass, and a cat is 40 years old, and he was born 20 to 30 years after your people arrived in this place, all he's ever known is Babylon. The place you talking about, that's the place of our fathers. That's not a reality for me. I respect it. I respect the culture of our people, but at the same time, I do get to look with my own eyes and have my own opinion as well about my reality. I don't have the memories of a city being burnt like you do, brethren, just like I don't have the memories of living on the plantation. I don't have the memories of being fearful that if I go certain places, I may not make it back because, this, that, and the third, with the just blatant racism right in my face all the time. Some of our mothers and fathers, some of us got parents, y'all, who are alive right now, grandparents and family who are alive right now, and you hear them tell you some of the stuff they grew up in, and you be like pissed, like, what? Because you haven't. You haven't. Your kids up with MacBooks, and they were running around Facebook, Meta, 3D environment goggles on, and they sit in gamer chairs like the one I'm in, and hey, mom, can I buy some more? Can you put some more money on my account so I can so I can get this for my Roblox? They playing Call of Duty with cats from all around the world. They playing sports. They on the high school basketball teams. They AAU traveling the country. They want to be the next LeBron James, man. The next Steph Curry. NFL. They want to be the next. Yo, I was in the school because I work for a nonprofit, and I go and I teach introduction to building trades, to carpentry, within the at-risk schools in my community, and I usually teach 3rd to 6th graders. And I remember the first time I walked into a school, this was last school year, wasn't the beginning of this school year, but before this summer, I went and my first day in the school, I'm asking the kids what they aspire to be. You may not be surprised at how many kids now say they want to be a YouTuber. I'm like, a YouTuber? What's that? Now I know what a YouTuber is. And they be like, oh, I want to do this. I want to have a channel, and and then y'all be like, well, yo, I'm a YouTuber to some degree. I got a channel. I got music videos and stuff. They like, And now I tell the teacher, hey, can I show them something? Now all the kids fall in love with me. Even the teachers like, because they see my music videos. I got music videos, 80,000 views on this music video, almost 1 million on this one, 20,000 on that one. They like, wow. And I use that to just show them like, well, if that's something you feel like you want to do, then you still got to understand it. You still got to study. You still got to know the analytics of it. And they be intrigued. So now the guy who's teaching me carpentry, he know a little bit about social media too. So that's my little end with some of these youth. But I'm telling you, many of these youth desire to be YouTubers. You think you think them children feel oppressed? They might get scared, if they hear something bad happen in a community, but more of our children be afraid of their own kind than they are of some other ethnic group in the generations they growing up in. It's they look at their own kind shooting at each other, or things of that nature. They don't have no fear of the big oppressive system. Ain't no Martin Luther King on TV talking about we're not treated fair and equally and we need the right to vote. And this, I'm telling y'all, so you got to understand, you don't get to say it's not captivity just because slavery in the South. But it's captivity as much as it's just the conditions are a little different in this couple generations than it was in some previous ones, but it's still captivity. And that's the one thing I'll be trying to tell brethren, because some of our brethren be like, captivity? Man, y'all dudes bugging. One dude told me, he said, man, you got a victim mentality. I was like, dang, that's how he feel? Goodness, bro, you think I got a victim mentality? I'm like, nigga, I own businesses and everything. Like, bro, I'm not. See, what happens is people act like that just because you might be doing some things for yourself that you only, most of the time people talk about themselves. They don't talk about the people as a whole. They don't look on the entire suffering of the people. And when some of them do, they blame the people. All right. Hey, let's keep going. Okay, brother, University of California.
University of California, Berkeley lecturer and Acadian Lori E. Pierce explores the evidence in her article, How Bad Was the Babylonian Exile, in the September-October 2016 issues of Biblical Archaeology Review. According to Pierce, despite the melancholic tone of Psalm 137, life in Babylon was actually pretty good for many of the Judahite deportees.
There you go.
According to the Bible, notes Lori E. Pierce, King Jehoiakim was given special treatment even over other imprisoned kings. Moreover, cuneiform ration lists discovered in Nebuchadnezzar's South Palace in Babylon show that captive kings and high officials received monthly rations of grain and oil. The lives of non-royal Judahites, too, are preserved in Babylonian records. Texts from Nippur contain the name of Judahites who served as witnesses in land contracts. The Judahite identity of the witnesses is revealed by their Yahwistic names formed from the Israelite divine name Yahweh. The text record the text record the business activities of a family whose patriarch was an entrepreneur named Marisu. Since witnesses to contracts usually have the same social status as those engaged in a transaction, this would suggest, Lori E. Pierce argues, that a number of Judahites were as successful as the Marisu family.
So this is interesting. Once again, this don't describe every single person of the captivity, but it lets you know that for many, they lived lives that are comparable to what some of our people today would consider a good life. Continue, brother.
Records from the city of Susa reference Judahites with Yahwistic names serving as royal courtiers. And in Separ, a few Yahwistic names appear under the designation royal merchant. However, the majority of Pierce's evidence that the Babylonian exile wasn't so bad is focused on cuneiform text from in and around a settlement called Judahtown.
Okay. Yep, continue.
These texts, along with approximately 160 texts written in nearby towns, Pierce writes, provide balance to the known documentation now attesting to the lives of the lowly as well as highborn Judean and other West Semitic exiles in rural as well as the previously documented urban landscapes from the start of the Judean exile to the time of the rebuilding of the temple and beyond.
Mm.
The evidence reveals a diversity of experiences for the Judahite exiles in the picture of the Judahite experience in the Babylonian exile that emerges is perhaps not as morose as previously believed. To learn more about the Judahite experience during the Babylonian exile, as gleaned through the biblical and archaeological evidence, including the text from Judahtown, read the full article, How Bad Was the Babylonian Exile by Laura E. Pierce in
Okay.
September.
No, that's good. So you can see that what's happening is that what they say here, you have more information from text coming out that gives attestation to the lives of the lowly born as well as high-born Judeans and other Semitic exiles in rural as well as urban landscapes from the start of the exile all the way up until the rebuilding of the temple. Now, this is interesting to me because once again, brethren, just like in our community, everybody isn't rich, everybody isn't poor, and it's many people in between. All these facets represent our people as one when it comes to quote unquote being in the captivity. So hold on, we're gonna keep it going. I want to read a little bit more when it comes to some sources. I want to go to the Jerusalem Post source I have. Share the screen. Hey, salute to y'all, son. Welcome, King Elephant Man Podcast. Welcome. All right. Here we go. So this is the Jerusalem Post. This is from a 2015 article. And it says, ancient tablets reveal daily life of exiled Jews in Babylon 2,500 years ago. Okay. So if you, well, let me make this a little bigger. Okay, Ak, if you can see this, start there, and then I'll move the screen slowly.
Over 100 palm-sized 2,500-year-old tablets discovered in Iraq, now on display at Jerusalem's Babylonian Museum, are providing unprecedented insights into Jewish life after Judeans were exiled to ancient Babylonia.
Oh, hold on for a second. I think I went too far. Right. Hold on. Yep. Okay, there you go, bro.
The tablets, each inscribed in tiny Akkadian script, an extinct Eastern Semitic language spoken in ancient Mesopotamia, detailed transactions and contracts by Judeans forced to leave Jerusalem by King Nebuchadnezzar in 600 BCE. The antiquities were initially acquired by a wealthy London-based Israeli collector 2 years ago, who lent them to the museum. According to the exposition's curator, Philip Vekosavic,
Call that man Philip V, man. Ain't nobody trying to say that.
Philip V, an expert in ancient Babylonia, Sumeria, and Assyria. Studying the tablets was like hitting the jackpot.
Okay, there you go.
We started reading the tablets, and within minutes, we were absolutely stunned, says V. It fills in a critical gap in understanding of what was going on in the life of Judeans in Babylonia more than 2,500 years ago. Nebuchadnezzar, a powerful ruler famed for the hanging gardens of Babylon, one of the seven wonders of the ancient world, came to Jerusalem several times, including during the destruction of the first temple to spread the reach of his kingdom. During Nebuchadnezzar's visits, they said he forced or compelled the exile of thousands of Judeans, including one instance in 587 BCE that resulted in the exodus of 1,500 Jews to modern day Lebanon and Syria and on to the southern Iraq, then known as Babylonia. Technically, not slaves, Nebuchadnezzar allowed the Judeans in Babylonia to become merchants or assist administering his growing kingdom.
So he allowed for Israelites to get into business in his kingdom and even put some in positions to work in his government. Continue.
They were free to go about their lives. They weren't slaves, V said. Nebuchadnezzar wasn't a brutal ruler in that respect. He knew he needed the Judeans to help revive the struggling Babylonian economy.
See, one thing we have to remember is that part of imperialist thought is resource. The greatest commodity on earth is the human being. So just like Alexander the Great, yeah, I'm gonna bring my army. We're gonna fight your army and we're gonna crush y'all. And whoever would try to rebel against us, we'll kill men, women, and children too. But once that's over, if we could get a little sense of peace about us, man, we'll treat some of y'all right, man. You know, put y'all in positions of power, all of this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Give y'all some land so y'all can live and take care of yourselves. Because what we have to remember is that as you go to brethren, one of the reasons that they fanned out to conquer other peoples was because of the resources that they lacked. So part of empire building, one of the biggest drives of it is the love of assets, the love of money, we call it, where you need resources in order to do other things that you desire to do. And so you go rape, pillage, and do what you do. And some people are harsher than others. The Babylonians, just after they done whooped on y'all, and remember, you know how I know this is true? Because the king of Babylon put up with a lot of treaty breaking from the kings of Judah before he just was like, all right, man, we're gonna go in here and just take them out. So, you know, take it for what it is. All right, let's continue here. I think it's more down here. Yep, there you go. Go ahead, bro.
The tablet shed light on the Judeans' contributions, detailing taxes paid, debts owed, credits accumulated, and trade in fruits and other commodities. The exhibition also chronicles one family in the Judean kingdom over 4 generations, starting with the father, Semak Yama, his son, grandson, and his grandson's 5 children, all with biblical Hebrew names still used today. We even know the details of the inheritance made to Samakayama, 5 grandchildren, said V. On the one hand, it's boring details, but on the other hand, you learn so much about who these exiled people were and how they lived.
Okay.
V describes the tablets as completing a 2,500-year-old puzzle, adding that many Judean gradually returned to Jerusalem after the fall of Babylon to the Persian king Cyrus the Great in 539 BCE, around the time the second temple was built. Wow. Still, many others remained in Babylonia, he said, and created a vibrant Jewish community that lasted 2 millennia and didn't return to Israel until the 1950s, when many in the diaspora moved from Iraq, Persia, Yemen, and North Africa to the newly created state.
That's
The new
good. That's good. No, that's good. Now, I'm just throwing this as a side shot for any who, you know, if I throw this rock and it hit you, I wasn't trying to miss you. Uh, Many cats get into arguing about black folk being the true Jews and the people over there in the land ain't this, that, and the third. I always ask them, what do the Hebrews and the descendants of Hebrews who never even left the Babylonian captivity? They never left the Persian Empire. Y'all do know hundreds of thousands of Hebrews were not interested in moving back to the land permanently. Once the land got reset, you had many who would come during the feast days and leave. What they look like? Do people really want to use this phenotype argument? Because when it comes down to it, you do have cats who came out of what today is modern day Iraq and Iran, that part. And y'all do know that's the territory of the ancient Babylonian and Persian empires, where at least the headquarters of them, where we do not argue that our people were. Well, what do a lot of them look like, who been claiming to be descendants of Israel for over 2,000 years? And when this thing happened back in the 1950s, some of them cats was like, oh snap, word, it's a government setback over the, some of them after generations of tradition, some of them came back to the land. So you don't think none of them people over there are Israelites because they don't look like you? I think that's dangerous. But for some people, they don't give a damn about me saying nothing like that. I'm deceived, because if it ain't a chart from some Hebrew school that got every possible Israelite tribe by country over here in the Western Hemisphere, and they don't show you where else we might be on Earth, then But you know what? To be fair to their chart, it's still not fully a phenotypical thing, because they say blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans don't all look alike by any means. So, to be fair to them, at least their theory isn't fully phenotypical. But when they talk, they keep it fully phenotypical. It's kind of hypocritical, but whatever. I thought I would just say that just for effect. I got another extra biblical source that I want to put on the table right quick. Where's that one at?
I'm loving these sources.
Oh yeah. All right. No, that's what's good. You know what? Before I go to this other source, let's go to the book of Daniel, chapter 1. Let's go to. I want us to look at something about our ox, because they had a great integrity and love for Yah. And that's one thing about the captivity. Just because our people went into captivity, it don't mean that the Most High was going to treat every individual the same, because some people, hey, we just suffering the penalty that our people as a whole deserve. But the Most High still saw those who had a heart for him. And many of us, I hope we would be more like Daniel and them were in the Babylonian captivity, connected to Yah, understanding and educated and learning how to use the system they were put into in order to take care of their own people. Damn, that's kind of sad. I just seen what my Ak put up there. Talmud, unfortunately, I have to agree. That man said it's not many of them, though. Damn, that's right, though. But everyone claiming Israel. All right, so, so let's go here. I want to go to the book of Daniel 1. Let me share my screen. And Ak, when you get there, let's start reading that verse 1.
Daniel 1.
Yes.
In the 3rd year of the reign of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, came Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, unto Jerusalem, and besieged it. And the Lord gave Jehoiakim, king of Judah, into his hands, with part of the vessel of the house of God, which he carried into the land of Shinar, to the house of his God. And he brought the vessels into the treasure house of his God. And the king spake unto Phinehas, the master of his eunuchs, that he should bring certain of the children of Israel, and of the king's seed, and of the princes.
So wait, hold on. You see how, okay, so they have some of our people, and they took a lot of brethren of the nobility class, meaning they grew up in our land from royal families and families of leadership in our community. So look at what the king of Babylon does with them. Go ahead.
Children in whom was no blemish, but well favored and skillful in all wisdom, and cunning in knowledge, and understanding science, and such as had ability in them to stand in the king's palace, in whom they might teach the learning and the tongue of the Chaldeans.
So when they see you already have an educated class among your people, they know that they can take instruction. So they want to give them further instruction to understand how the Babylonian society does things, and then they can be assets to the Babylonian society. Continue.
And the king appointed them a daily provision of the king's meat and of the wine which he drank, so nourishing them 3 years, that at the end thereof they might stand before the king.
Now, the king provided for food and wine to be given to all of these Israelite children who they're going to put through their education system. And at the end of 3 years, they would what? Be fit for the king. So they had 3 years of indoctrination and education and being fed from the king's stock of food. To do what? To make them comfortable. But it was another thing too. Verse 8. Skip down to 8 and continue.
But Daniel purposed in his heart that he would not defile himself with the portion of the king's meat, nor with the wine which he drank. Therefore he requested of the prince of the eunuchs that he might not defile himself.
Now, why did Daniel think he would defile himself? Brethren, I'm pretty sure that the king and them would have gave them according to their dietary needs specifically. But it was something that Daniel didn't want to be defiled in his mind. To him, if I partake of this, the reason this is being done is to do something to my mind. I don't think this is, oh, hey, make them eat pork and make them, no. Because I don't believe a great majority of the Shemitic diet was necessarily like that. Y'all do know that the Babylonians were Shemitic people as well. These aren't Gentiles. I'm sorry. They're Gentiles, but they're not. These aren't the sons of Japheth. These wouldn't be what you would call, quote unquote, Caucasians. He didn't want to defile himself with what? The purpose that the education and the 3 years of eating from the king's stock was meant to do to them. It was meant to assimilate them. Daniel didn't want to really assimilate in his mind. He got to deal with the reality of the situation, but he don't want his mind given to what the education of the Babylonian system and the eating of his food represent. That's what I believe here. But continue. Verse 9.
Now God had brought Daniel into favor and tender love with the prince of the eunuchs. And the prince of the eunuchs said unto Daniel, I fear my lord the king, who hath appointed your meat and your drink. For why should he see your faces worse liking than the children which are your sort? Then shall ye make me endanger my head to the king. Then said Daniel to Melzar, whom the prince of the eunuchs had set over Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, prove thy servants, I beseech thee, 10 days, and let them give us pulse to eat and water to drink. Then let our countenance be looked upon before thee, and the countenance of the children that eat of the portion of the king's meat. And as thou seest, deal with thy servants. So he consented to them in this matter and proved them 10 days. And at the end of 10 days, their countenance appeared fairer and fatter in flesh than all the children which did eat the portion of the king's meat. That's
okay. No, that's good. They actually brought them to this situation. The education was supposed to get them ready to be an asset to the Babylonian government structure and all of that. And the diet was meant to put weight to look like the Chaldeans. See, the Chaldeans were filled with brethren. You do know that a big part of the Babylonian guard were the Elamite, who were called the great warriors of heaven. They're painted all over the Babylonian joint. So the Babylonians, that whole empire is made up of a whole bunch of Shemites, Hamites. I believe it's some Japhethites there too. The way we think, that's not the way they looked at things back then. We make things really black and white because, you know, we're a byproduct of American racism, many of us. But the Elamites, the Arameans, and all of that, that's why Aramaic was the chief language of the Babylonian. Y'all do know that Aramaic, y'all know why many Hebrews spoke Aramaic in the time of Christ? Because that became a language similar to their original language in Babylon. The Arameans are a Shemitic people of antiquity that constantly fought with the Elamites and the Assyrians and the Chaldeans and them for control of Mesopotamia for 1,000 years before the Chaldeans became a mighty people and eventually led to the quote unquote Babylonian Empire. Y'all, they wanted them to look fat. The king of Babylon did not want no slim-faced Zadok looking dude. He wanted puffy-faced, thick-looking cats because the king's diet was a diet full of fat, salt, and sugar. Y'all do know that was a big thing in ancient. Sugar was so precious that everyone didn't have it. Only the wealthy back in that time could have today, like what we call sugar. And because of those things not being on the common, everyday, hardworking man's plate, you kept pretty slim, pretty trim as a people. They wanted to fatten them up. Now, I want to read something. Let's go to Josephus, because Josephus actually got the nerve to talk about this like he knew what he was talking about. And I want to take a look at something here. Let me share the screen. Let me stop sharing this. Let me share Josephus. Hold on. Shalom, Sister Wanda. Welcome, Queen. Hey, if you just joining, you are in the Bible Dojo. We've been getting it in for a minute. My name is Brother Zadok. I got my bro Bazooka with me. Most High bless y'all. Thank y'all for being here. Share this out. Whatever platform you're on, if this your first time here, follow me on that platform. I ask you would consider financially supporting my ministry. Y'all do know I be getting it in weekly. I'll be putting on for y'all. So, hey, if y'all feel like y'all want to hit the kid, look on the screen. All the information is there. It lets you know how to do it. You can choose it if you so desire. So let me share the screen right quick again. Let's go to young Josephus in the building. Right. Salute to Laptop 7. Christian. What's good, Christian? Look at hey, Ashton. Look who in the building. You see Christian in the building. Yeah, that's what's up. Peace, bro. So hold on, y'all. I'm gonna bring you down to the Babylonian captivity, and it's similar to what we just read there, but hold on. I like the way Josephus describes it because he's gonna say a little bit more. Hold on. Hold on. Here we go. This is Antiquities of the Jews. This is from, I forget which one it is, but at any rate, this is in chapter 10 of this particular section. And let's look at this here. So it says, where we at? Okay, there we go. Hey, can you see this? Or hold on, let me make this slightly bigger. Okay. This should be a little easier to read. If you can see this, Zook, go ahead when you got it.
Now the king of Babylon was very intent and earnest upon the siege of Jerusalem, and he erected towers upon great banks of earth, and from them repelled those that stood upon the walls. He also made a great number of such banks round about the whole city, whose height was equal to those walls. However, those that were within bore the siege with courage and alacrity.
Okay, so they fought hard, right? So now, hold on, let's go down. Oh goodness, hold on, I lost my place again. Hold on. Okay, there we go.
But now Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, took some of the most noble of the Jews that were children, and the kinsmen of Zedekiah their king, such as were remarkable for the beauty of their bodies and the comeliness of their countenances, and delivered them into the hands of tutors, and to the improvement to be made by them. He also made some of them to be eunuchs, which course he took also with those of other nations whom he had taken in the flower of their age, and afforded them their diet from his own table, and had them instructed in the institutes of the country, and taught the learning of the Chaldeans.
Oh, hold on. Notice what it said. He afforded them their diet from his own table. So they can eat with, according to their preferable diet, but it's going to be provided from the king's lot. Go ahead, continue.
And they had now exercised themselves sufficiently in that wisdom which he had ordered they should apply themselves to. Now among these there
Okay,
were four.
hold on. So you got Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and Daniel, or Ananias, Mishael, Azariah, and Daniel. So skip down here to where it say these the king had in esteem.
These the king had in esteem, and continued to love, because of the very excellent temper they were of, and because of their application to learning and the progress they had made in wisdom.
So they had to look, brethren, they're in captivity. So they had to learn. Continue.
Now Daniel and his kinsmen had resolved to use a severe diet, and to abstain from those kinds of food which came from the king's table, and entirely to forbear to eat of all living creatures. So he came to Ashpenaz, who was that eunuch to whom the care of them was committed, and desired him to take and spend what was bought for them from the king, but to give them pulse and dates for their food, and anything else besides the flesh of living creatures that he pleased, for that their inclinations were to that sort of food, and that they despised the other. He replied that he would ready to serve them in what they desired, but he suspected that they would be discovered by the king from their meager bodies and the alteration of their countenances, because it could not be avoided, but their bodies and colors must be changed with their diet, especially.
Hold on, wait, hold on.
Hmm.
Yo, he like, bro, y'all can't be around here looking skinny. The king wants y'all to be fat. Y'all, they wanted them to be puffy faced. And I'm telling you, that's a whole nother discussion. But the diet was meant to, one, get them used to the Babylonian way of looking, and it was also meant to do something else. But he says that, okay, so from here, but that
if he saw them then look meager and worse than the rest, he should reduce them to their former diet. Now, when it appeared that they were so far from becoming worse by the use of this food, that they grew plumper and fuller in body than the rest.
what they grew what, bro? Plumper?
Plumper.
Them niggas got fat. Go ahead.
And fuller in body than the rest, insomuch that he thought those who fed on what came from the king's table seemed less plump and full, while those that were with Daniel looked as if they had lived in plenty and all sorts of luxury.
Hold on. They see, that was the point, to look like you live in plenty and luxury. Brethren, when you look at the result of the American diet on us, look at people who come from other countries and they come here pretty slim and trim because of the culture they come from and the way they eat. After being here 10 years, y'all ever see the African brothers? They come here and they be nice and slim, and then they still look, now they fat and skinny at the same time 10 years later. Niggas fat and skinny at the same time. Now cats walking around with the gut and all of that. Why? Because of the introduction of so much processed sugar and salt and stuff to the body. Faces get fatter. You got these sisters walking around here, brothers walking around here. People, like, that's why people be trying to work out and stuff if they got that kind of discipline, because the diet, y'all do know that the diet of this place is actually similar to the diet of ancient kings. I don't have time to break this all down for you, but go jump down a rabbit hole and see what kings ate in antiquity, even in the Middle Ages among the Gentiles. And you look at the American grocery store concept and the way we shop and what we're used to eating, all the amount of meat we eat, the amount of pastries and dainties and stuff like that that we eat. That's so, I saw a statistic that said before World War II, the average American diet, consisted of anywhere from 3 to 5 pounds of sugar consumption in a year. But it wasn't sugar from processed food. Sugar. Do y'all know currently? Well, I probably haven't looked at this stat in 6 years. But about 6 years ago, probably the last time I was really researching this, y'all know about 6 years ago what they said the average consumption of all Americans as far as sugar in their diet was just 6 years ago? 50 pounds a year. Oh, and y'all think high blood pressure and diabetes and all of that stuff on all American citizens, y'all think that just came out of nowhere? As a matter of fact, y'all know what they call today, like what we might call like high blood pressure and stuff like that? Y'all know what they called it a long time ago? King's disease. King's disease. Y'all think I'm bugging?
You gonna send me down a rabbit hole?
Huh?
You about to send me down a rabbit hole?
Why? Well, I mean, I can't say why, but yeah, but it's really it's gout. It's gout in the body. Hold on. Let's go to. Hold on. Let me share this with you all. We're gonna go back to Josephus. I got one more thing I want to read here, but since bro said I'm gonna make him jump down a rabbit hole, let me show you this. And this is what they were put. This is what Daniel and brothers like him were kind of avoiding. So this is from John Hopkins Medicine. Defining what causes the disease of kings. Okay. So hold on. See y'all. Wait, hold on. Nah, see. But at any rate, here we go. There we go. Just read this little portion right here, bro. Can you see that, Bazooka?
Yeah.
Okay.
Historically, gout was blamed on an overindulgence in food and alcohol, leading it to sometimes be called the disease of kings.
Hold on. So the phrase disease of kings meaning eating and drinking too much. Continue.
But scientists eventually learned that although certain foods might exacerbate the condition, gout occurs when uric acid builds up in the blood. Crystals of uric acid then accumulate in the joints, triggering inflammation and acute pain. These findings led scientists to suspect that gout might result from a defect in the kidney's ability to excrete uric acid, a byproduct of the metabolism of the amino acid purine.
Okay, so there, I just wanted to give you all that little bit. I was looking for another one, but I couldn't call um I couldn't really find the one that I was looking for. They kept showing me Nas album. I didn't want to see uh I didn't want to see Nas album. But at any rate, so that y'all could jump down that rabbit hole and just find other things that they would accumulate. But notice what they said: an overindulgence in all kind of food and alcohol led to what people would call the disease of kings. Why did they call it that? Because in antiquity, those of high royal nobility who had access and overindulgence in things, like every day for them was like going to damn the Golden Corral or something. That does something to the body over time. And what did they want Daniel and them to do, bro? What was the word that Josephus used that you read, bro? Plump. They wanted them to look plumper, fatter. Why? Just for the sake of looking plump and fat? No, it is that look in those times was a sign of something to that society. I'm gonna give you an earlier American society and European society nugget. Do y'all know why a lot of paintings of European women and American women were of women who look kind of chunky? You ever thought about that? You never seen no old paintings of European women, and the women were like today, like this thing where they, you know, where they got the skinny looking Victoria's Secret TV looking chick. That's an American thing that comes through the fashion industry, but well, really a European thing. America is just a satellite of Europe. But the reason why women were painted that way is because back then a thick looking woman was a sign of a woman who could take care of a man. It means she had wealth, because if she could look like that, then that means she eat good, and that was a sign of, hey, you got something. Y'all, that was the same thing in the Babylonian thinking. And when you look at a lot of our people around here just out of shape and looking overweight and, you know, this, that, and the third, I'm just going to let y'all know that it's a result of the culture. We wouldn't look like that in our culture. But let me get back to this so we could get up out of here. I done kept y'all long enough. I think y'all get the drift, as they say. Let me bring back that Josephus one time, bro. So hey, go ahead and read that part again, though. When he said
here in luxury, all sorts of luxury, are in so much that he thought those who fed on what came from the king's table seemed less plump and full, while those that were with Daniel looked as if they had lived in plenty and in all sorts of luxury.
They looked like they had lived in plenty and all sorts of luxury. Daniel didn't want to be defiled. That's what the food was meant for. It don't matter if he could have ate what he wanted according to the diet of his own people. That's what it was for. So when Daniel and his brothers was thinking, we don't want to be defiled by the king's table, he understood the implication of what the king and them were trying to do to them. And a lot of the brethren, along with many other people of the captivity, they gonna eat. And I'm not condemning them. I'm just trying to show you how Daniel was thinking, at least according to how I perceive it here. Go ahead and continue, good brother. I think you at Arioch.
Arioch from that time securely took himself what the king sent every day from his supper, according to custom, to the children, but gave them the forementioned diet, while they had their souls in some measure more pure and less burdened, and so fitter for learning, and had their bodies in better tune for hard labor. For they neither had the former oppressed and heavy with variety of meats, nor were the other effeminate on the same account.
Wait. Effeminate? Go ahead, bro.
So they readily understood all the learning that was among the Hebrews and among the Chaldeans.
That's good enough. So I just wanted you to see what Daniel and them were up against. And when people read that Daniel and them didn't want to eat from the king's table, to have an understanding of what the implications of eating from the table meant, what the government was trying to do to them. And, or should I say, did to them. So now we're going to go over to the next chapter. This is Antiquities of the Jews. This is book 11. And in chapter 1 here, we're just going to read this brief thing about when Cyrus had gave the decree saying that many of, hey, y'all could go back and you could build, you could rebuild your city. Hold on. Where we at? So Cyrus gives his decree. You can start from right here.
This was foretold by Isaiah 140 years before the temple was demolished. Accordingly, when Cyrus read this and admired the divine power and earnest desire and an ambition seized upon him to fulfill what was so written, so he called for the most eminent Jews that were in Babylon and said to them that he gave them leave to go back to their own country and to rebuild their city Jerusalem and the temple of God, for that he would be their assistant, and that he would write to the rulers and governors that were in the neighborhood of their country of Judea, that they should contribute to them gold and silver for the building of the temple, and besides that, beasts for their sacrifices. When Cyrus had said this to the Israelites, the rulers of the 2 tribes of Judah and Benjamin, with the Levites and priests, went in haste to Jerusalem. Yet did many of them stay at Babylon, as not willing to leave their possessions.
Wait, hold on. Many of them stayed in Babylon because they weren't willing to leave their possessions. And it makes sense, because I see our captivity, and I'm telling you right now, it's not meant, everybody is not displeased. All right? Everyone is like, yo, if you displeased, that's you. I don't feel like that. I've been told that to my face many times over the last 2 decades, and I respect it too. I'm not breaking my neck running back to the same people being like, no, you gotta, no. I've said it enough to them, and they know how I feel and how I move. And if, we share the same spaces at times and the conversation got to be had, I don't mind saying it again. But I'm just letting you know, many people ain't got a damn clue. They are not disgruntled with the situation that we're in. They don't see anything wrong with the system per se. They see an opportunity for themselves. So you can see an opportunity in captivity? Yes. Didn't they? It said that many of them did go to Jerusalem, but many of them stayed in Babylon because they weren't willing to leave their possessions. Brethren, a lot of these folk got rich, y'all. Just like the Israelites were rich in Egypt. Just like you got a lot of rich Israelites here in America, in the UK, and in other places, in the islands, all kind of stuff. As a matter of fact, I know Hebrews who make money here, and they go over to West Africa and set up in Ghana and other places because their American dollar stretches further. I remember about, I'm going to say probably about 15 years ago, some brethren and I were considering going to Ghana to buy some land because we knew a professor from the local university who owned land over there. And we were thinking about putting together probably 70 grand so we could build a compound over there. We would have lived like kings over there. We would have had what looked like mansions over here. We would have had that with a 10-foot high stone wall sitting on probably 5-6 acres of land for like 70,000 in Ghana. I'm just letting y'all know. Man, look. The stuff that I've been a part of and the people I've been around, excuse me, and some of the moves they made, I'm telling you, don't get it twisted. The dollar in this country ain't no punk in a lot of places. And when you go somewhere and your money becomes basically like 9 times tripled, oh, you just might go do something. And so now, guess what? You can use this place in a good way to help your people, whether you stay here or you take the money and you go and stretch it in other places. But it's a lot of people at the same time who take their money to these places and they're building an image of the American system because it's what they love and know. They're not disgruntled. They just know that their money can stretch longer somewhere. And so they're going to take it over there and they're going to try to build up stuff in the image of this place. They're not looking to be totally disconnected per se. They're just trying to make their money stretch for them. And then you got other brethren like Ben Ami and them. They wanted to just totally get away from the American lifestyle. And I salute them for that. So, brethren, you know what? Let's go to Revelation 18 and we'll end it here for tonight. Let's go to Revelation 18. Okay. Reshare the screen. There we go. Okay, brethren. So Revelation 18. And when we get here, bro, let's go to verse 1.
And after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies.
Hey, bro, when we read that source, it said that when the king of Babylon took many of the Hebrews and others to Babylon, he gave some of them the freedom to go and become merchants, and some were able to become officials in government and all of that. Israel is a part of this. Don't look at this and think that the Israelite nation isn't a part of this. No, all nations of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. All of them. Go ahead.
And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that you be not partakers of her sins, and that you receive not her plagues. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and God hath remembered her iniquities.
Now, you have to have an issue with Babylon. But if you're comfortable, then this you won't be able to understand what this is saying, because you don't see Babylon as a problem. You're drunk. But for those who have stopped drinking the wine of her fornication and are now sobered up in the spirit, if you understand what this means, this not telling you got to leave the planet, because you're not going to go nowhere and escape Babylon the Great. But coming up out of her, I'm going to tell you this. Even though Christ said, be in the world, but not of it. He said, I don't pray, Father, that you take them out of the world, but just that they don't be of the world. I believe that's what it means here. Come out of her. Do not see things the same way this world see it. You're in the world, but you're not of it. So if you're in Babylon, you're not of it. And in that sense, you're out of it. You're not of it. If you're not of it, then you're not in it, even though you might physically be present there. Excuse me. Daniel, he was in Babylon, but he wasn't of it, was he? Him and his 3 homies, they were not of it. They were there, but they just were not really a part of it. They just had to survive. And so that's what the captivity looks like. And I'm telling you, while you have more harsher forms of the captivity, you also have this. Hey, y'all, guess what? I'm in captivity right now. Right now, my man Bazooka. Y'all hear his kids in the background and all that. That man in captivity. While we speak. Nigga, captivity. While we speak. Well, so was Daniel and them. So were the children of Israel. They fell into a heavy oppression in Egypt. But like really look at what it was and what it meant. And if we can assess how the Egyptian captivity played out and how the Babylonian captivity played out, then we can see how this one is playing out. Just because you can have careers here and because you can own businesses and do what you want, that is not indicative of your people no longer being in captivity. It's just you're in a time where Yah, by his will, has allowed you to have a little respite from how harsh it could be. So it's important what we decide to do with the opportunity in serving him. Come out of her, my people, so that you don't partake in her plagues and her sins. Hey, Ak, that's all we're going to do for this evening, but I appreciate you helping me out. Anything you want to say, bro?
Yeah, no, this was powerful, man. Definitely informative. I appreciate you. And on another note, man, them Israelites done said when Cyrus sent them back to Jerusalem to rebuild the temple, them Israelites in Babylon was like, yeah, y'all go ahead, we're gonna meet y'all there.
Hey, some of them even sent money to help out, but they weren't. I ain't go, man. Look, hey, some people just not interested in going to some old burnt out city. Like, yo, I'm good. I'm just not interested, and that's what I'm trying to tell people. Some of them aren't interested, and I understand it. But for those of us who see it differently, y'all, we gotta be a little bit more urgent with pounding this message in the ears of our people and with trying to figure out things we can do just to give ourselves some more, I guess, some more space. We just want a little bit more elbow room to kind of live a little bit more how we want in the things of the Most High, you know? So, hey, y'all, that's all I got for y'all for tonight. Most High willing, we'll be back on this Sunday for the Bible Dojo. No. Hold on, that may not pop. That might not pop because it's a big football. I think, wait, hold on. I gotta make sure I ain't invite all these people to my house on Sunday for the damn football game. Hold on. I don't think I did. Y'all, yeah. Actually, we gonna do the Bible Dojo Monday because I think I got people coming over my house Sunday. Hey, don't be mad at me that I do this on my schedule now. Don't get at me about my vanity. But yeah, so Most High willing, we gonna have the open dojo this coming Monday. And y'all know that's just where whatever y'all want to talk about, however y'all want to get it in, Most High willing. But I appreciate y'all coming on tonight. I'm hoping that you got some edification out of this. And I'm hoping that it just shows you, y'all, we can use this situation to our advantage. But we have to understand what that situation is. And we have to understand what this whore is. We have to understand what her sins are. What is it that she's doing? How does she do it? And how might we be helping her more than being more hands off? Like, hey, you know what I'm saying? We can't take her off the earth until the Most High say that time comes. So if I'm in the midst of Babylon, then how do I be more like Daniel and not eat from the king's table? So that what that is meant to do to my mind, I won't let it do it. Prayerfully, the Most High will give us wisdom. Hallelujah. I appreciate it. We gonna sign off on you now. All right, y'all. Shabbat shalom. Good night.